Inter Milan with a 5-0 win over Shakhtar Donetsk to book a place in this year's final against Sevilla. Craig Burley, Ali Moreno and Shaka Hislop here to discuss it. Craig, Inter just running away with this game in the end in the second half.
Yeah, it was a great result. Not necessarily a great performance. Didn't have to be. In fact, Halle had to get out of second gear. It was a semi-final, wasn't it, Dan? One shot on target from Shakhtar Donetsk, who were an utter embarrassment to even be in the semi-finals with a performance like that. Look, 5-0 looked like it was a walk in the park in the end where it was. But let me tell you, for those people that watched it, for 64 minutes, it was a giant bore fest. But that's kind of Inter for you. And then the wear team's down, and the physicality gets the better of them. But, you know, the Lukaku goal, I think it was the fourth or the fifth, where, you know, he just walks past a couple of defenders, was quite frankly embarrassing.
Yeah, I think on the hour mark, if you said this was going to be 5-0, I don't think many would take that bet, Ali. But as Craig said, Shakhtar just completely capitulated and Inter took advantage.
And just before the second goal for Inter, Junior Moraes has the best and only real opportunity that Shakhtar Donetsk had throughout the course of the game. And I think, indeed, you see the difference between the two teams. Whereas for Inter, you have Lautaro Martínez and Romelu Lukaku finishing the chances the way that they did. For Shakhtar, well, it's Junior Moraes, and he's all by himself, top of the 6-yard box. It's a good service from the left-hand side, free header, unable to score that goal. Maybe that changes things for Shakhtar, but then after that, it felt like 30 seconds later, Inter was scoring the second goal, and from then on, it was all about Inter. And to me, it's just the difference in quality that you have between the two teams. Whereas Shakhtar was knocking the ball around in the first half, there was a sequence of play right around the 44th minute where they seemed to pass the ball 20 times around the box of Inter, but they never looked like they were going to score. And whereas Inter, you look at them, whenever Lautaro Martínez and Romelu Lukaku got together, in particular in the second half, they were always dangerous. Martínez with a couple of goals and a great assist to Lukaku's first goal. And then the turn of pace and speed and power of Romelu Lukaku was simply too much for Shakhtar. I think Chocolava, the center defender for Shakhtar, still chasing Romelu Lukaku and has not caught him just yet.
Yeah, we talk a lot about Lukaku, don't we, on this show? Some in particular, Stevie, for example, quite critical of him. Shaka, but wherever he goes, he gets goals.
He does, and this season in particular, he showed that. And I thought you saw the best of Lukaku in the game today, albeit against a Shakhtar Donetsk defense that didn't seem to know what they were doing, didn't seem to have a game plan about how to cope with either Lukaku or Lautaro Martínez, in all honesty. But he took his goals very well. Had a chance on his left that Piatov saved well just before Lautaro Martínez made it, well, I think it was 3-0. And then finished well from Martinez's assist for the fourth, and the fifth was all about Lukaku and what has become typical of him, and we've known of him for so many years. Strong, quick on the turn, able to shrug aside the defender's attentions, and then find the bottom corner, and that was him at his best in a season where I think he's really come to life.
This move to Inter has worked out for him, Craig.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know, he had to get away from Man United. He wanted away, and I think they wanted rid of him. That was clear. And you know, I think moving to Italian football has suited him for whatever reasons. I'm not 100% sure, but he's fitted in. He's fitted in well. 30+ goals, as you say. Let's see if he can rally that kind of number next year again, because they're going to need it. People will be getting carried away about this result. They're probably going to win this tournament, although you know Sevilla have something to say about that. There'll certainly be a stronger test in this Shakhtar side. But clearly Inter the favourites, Dan. But at the end of the day, they're looking to topple Juventus in the domestic competition in Serie A. And that's a big deal. So it's going to take more signings like what they did last year when they went out and got some really good players who have done the business for them. It's going to depend on whether Conte gets what he wants. If Conte doesn't get what he wants, he's got a tendency to try and burn the house down. We know a few managers like that. So it's going to be a battle of finances and wits. But you can't doubt Lukaku. I mean, he's made the move. He's scored the goals. He's done his bit. I mean, I think Lautaro Martínez was around 20 goals of that. So if they are a partnership next year, although that's decent, he's maybe going to have to step up. He's played well, but I think he'll have to get his numbers up if they are going to topple Juve next season.
Let's look ahead to the final then, obviously against Sevilla after their win against Manchester United. Ali, who have you got?
Well, the favorite have to be Inter. And you look at Sevilla and what they did against Manchester United, and they were opportunistic. They took advantage of the chances that they had in front of them. They got a great performance out of their goalkeeper, and everything just seemed to kind of play into their hands. And then the mistakes by Lindelof not picking up and all the things that we've already spoken about in this show. But Sevilla, when we consider them to be sort of the darlings of this competition, it was a much better team back then in those years under Unai Emery than what it is now. It's a team that is going to need help from Inter if they're going to have an opportunity to win this. Inter, on paper, they are far the more talented team and far the superior team. And in terms of the attacking talent, there is no question that when you're talking about Inter, they're much better than whatever it is that Sevilla has to offer. For me, Inter is the favorite running away, and it really is about them. If they approach this in the correct manner and you have your players, your high-level, your high-profile player performing at a high level, then there's no question in my mind that Inter not only should be the favorite, but should be winning this handily.
Shaq?
Yeah, I agree with Ali fully. Listen, Inter the favourites, and with good reason, especially when you saw that game against Shakhtar Donetsk. But Sevilla, as Craig pointed out, will be a fast-turner test. Yes, they rode their luck a little bit to start the second half against Manchester United. Remember, they also survived a penalty scare against Wolves in the previous round. But over the 90 minutes, I thought they were certainly the better of the two on that occasion and finishing stronger against Manchester United. There'll be no pushovers, but given what we've seen from Inter, given who they continue to show who they are, they know what they're doing and they do it very well. The finishing of Lautaro and Lukaku, I feel it's Inter's. It's not going to be 5, of course. I just don't think Sevilla have enough to deny them.
Any hope for Sevilla, Craig?
Is this not about the time you say this is not going to be a very good final or match? Because I think you're right this time. And I'm putting words in your mouth because you haven't said it yet, but I'm giving you the opportunity to say, are you going to say this? Because let's be frank, watching these two teams, and I didn't see the Man United Sevilla game because it was my day off yesterday, and I intended to enjoy my day off. But these two teams are bordering on a giant bore fest. I mean, Inter Milan are a pumped-up Atletico Madrid, aren't they? I mean, let's be quite frank. Now, it doesn't matter how, and I don't have anything against how you get the job done. I'm not a believer in you have to play football a certain way. But like most people, I like to enjoy my football. And if I'm being honest, I don't enjoy watching Inter play very often. That doesn't mean he's not doing a good job there, Conte. They're super organised. They've got good players. They score goals when needed. But they're not very pleasing on the eye. And that's the one thing I've got. It's a bit like Atletico Madrid. We talk about them and have talked about them relentlessly. They're just horrible to watch. You saw them in the game against Leipzig. They were horrible. And kind of that's how Inter are for me. They may be successful this season with a win in the Europa League. They finish second in Serie A. They may or may not go all the way next year in Serie A and topple Juventus. But they're horrible to watch. And that's the be-all and end-all.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.